Guys, welcome back to another video. I hope everyone's having a great day so far. I've been off YouTube for a month now. Damn, this feels so long, but hey, I'm back. And the last month has been crazy. I've been working on a lot of new projects that I'm super excited to share with all of you. But for today, from the title, you know what we're going to be talking about. We'll be talking about how we can get ourselves internships in companies like Kpmg, J.P. So if you guys want to know how you guys can also secure an internship into companies like Kpmg and many other tech companies, then do follow along. So before we get started with today's video, make sure to smash that subscribe button and also smash that like button. Let's get started. So first of all, what you want to do is go on to Google and type Kpmg virtual internships. So what these big consulting firms and tech companies have done, and a lot of financial institutions as well, have actually created something known as virtual internships. Now, what are virtual internships? Like, we all have virtual meetings due to this pandemic. Companies have actually started creating virtual internships. So instead of offering internships within a company in a physical space, the companies offers internships virtually. So when I first found out about this last year, I was totally hooked to this, and I was like, okay, you know, there are big companies involved, companies like Kpmg, companies like Amazon, Google, and JP Morgan are involved, and having a big company's name on your resume always helps. So that is the reason why I thought, you know, let's get started and, you know, let's do this particular internship. Now, just a caution out there, this is going to be focusing more on the big data analytics and the machine learning side of it, but I'm sure there are many other topics for these virtual internships available on forage.com. so if you would want to check out other stuff, so if you can just go to forage.com, it's going to open your dashboard, and I'm pretty sure over here you can also look for other internships. For example, there is I feel this is a commercial law, then this is engineering at Goldman Sachs, then this is sales and trading at Citibank, investment banking. Internships that, you know, people can actually use and, you know, get a lot of experience out of it. This for design and then digital transformation, and there are a lot of companies that are involved here. So these virtual internships will help you secure jobs, or at least help you get some solid work experience or some sort of experience as to how the real world really operates. We're going to do the Kpmg virtual internship together for all those people interested in data analytics, machine learning. If you guys want to follow along, just make sure that you register to forage.com. Go on to Kpmg virtual internship. It's a data analytics virtual internship, and it's free for all students. And also, you know, you get a certification kind of thing at the end once you finish this particular internship. Now, this internship only takes 5 to 6 hours to complete, so it's a pretty small task that they've given. So I think we can start with this. We're going to do all the tasks together, so I'm going to make 3 separate videos for this particular task. The first would be the data quality assessment. So let's view what task we have over here. Great. So if you guys are going to follow along with me, then we can do this together. So we have great. So the first task is basically a data quality assessment. There is an instruction given by a supervisor. I think from you guys can obviously go ahead and play this video. It's basically talking about a company which is basically like a bikes and cycle accessories organization. So I'm going to skip this part because I've already heard. We're going to go directly to the second part. I'm going to read this. Okay, cool. So what I feel is that with the first data quality assessment, I think we just need to clean the data set. So we do have 3 data sets. We've got customer demographic, customer address, transactional data set. So basically this is our task. So what I understand from this is that we've been given some sort of data set, and what we have to do is basically look for any data quality issues. I think there are 6 or 7 data quality issues that we basically look at, and we need to also send them an email underlying all these data quality issues and how we can mitigate that issue. And we need to also talk about how this can possibly impact our analysis going forward. Cool. So our task is to draft an email to the client identifying the data quality issues and strategies to mitigate this issue. So we need to first identify what the data quality issues are, and secondly we need to mitigate those issues as well. Now we can also refer to something known as the data quality framework table. Great, so here we have the data quality framework table, and what it actually looks at is basically various parameters to identify some sort of data quality issues in your data set. Now it's very common for data sets to have one of these data quality issues. Now let's go back and let's download this file. So once you've downloaded this, just open up the file. Alright, great. So now once you have opened the file, first is basically we've got the title sheet, and then we've got all these different tabs that we can actually work with. Great. So now let's start with our first data set, which is transactions, and let's look for any sort of data quality issues. What we can do is basically put a filter here, so which will help us identify if there is any sort of issues within the data set. Cool. Now when we're working with transactional ID, I don't feel we have to do anything here. It's pretty straightforward. It's going to be unique. The product ID also is going to be unique. There's not going to be any sort of duplications. So what we can do is basically leave the first 3 columns as these are our primary keys, and as of now I don't think there should be any sort of data quality issues within these primary keys. Now let's get on to the transactional data set and see what's happening here. Now with the transactional data set, we have got for 2017, and then for January, February, March. Okay, so over here I cannot see any null values. The date and time seems to be in the correct format, so we're going to leave the transactional date column as it is. Let's look at online orders. Now as you can see that the online orders do have some blanks, so we know that the online orders have some sort of null values. Now null values basically correspond to your completeness. Now the data is not complete because there are some rows which contains null values, so we need to remove that from the data set. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm just going to remove blanks from here. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to create a new sheet, and I'm going to say sheet name, column name, data quality issue. So the sheet name is transactions, the column name is online order, and the data quality issue that we're working with here is null values. So we're just going to put null values here. Cool. Great. Now let's go forward. Now let us also look at order status. It's either approved or cancelled, which is fine. Let's look at brands. Now there are also null values in brands as well, so we're going to remove all the null values here. Data set. Now with the product line, we know that they've got 4 different product lines. I don't see any data quality issues here, so we're going to move forward with this. Let's look at product class. We've got 3 segments of product class, which is fine. Product sizes, it's fine. Let's look at price list. Let's see if there are any blank values here. No, there are no blank values. That's fine. We're going to move forward. Let's look at standard cost. Standard cost. Okay, there are no blank values here. And this is product first sold date. So what this is basically in numbers. So dates at times can be a number as well. So I think this is an issue to do with data items with values metadata. So this is basically your metadata, because this probably happens when you import files from some sort of databases. So your date column actually converts into an integer. So what we can do here is, first we can just put here product first sold date, and I think this is the data quality issue of relevancy. Let's just say to convert from integer to date time format. All right, so what we can do is basically select everything. We can go to format, and once we click on format, we can do date, and we can just convert this into dates, and we can press OK. So now it's converted into dates. So basically those numbers corresponded to some sort of dates. So now we have converted that. So basically we have rectified this data quality issue with this specific sheet. Great. Now let's move forward with new customer list. First of all, let us put a filter here, so it's easier for us to identify any sort of issues. So with first names, let's see if there are any blank values. I don't see any blank values for first name. For last name, there are some blank values, but last name does not really play such an important role for this data set. But yes, we can remove the null values from here, and over here we can just, now we are looking at the new customer list. Okay, here let's look at gender. So you've here, so this is what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about, so this is a typical data quality issue for consistency. As you can see, that gender can either be male or female, but we have another element over here called u. Not sure what that u basically stands for. So at this point what we can do is we can safely just discard u, and basically when in our email we can actually mention that this particular gender column had a data quality issue for consistency. We found that many rows had u as a gender, so if we could probably get some more information on that, or if probably that was some sort of a typo error, or if that u corresponds to either male or female. So these are some things that we can actually put down on our email, but for now I'm just going to discard u because this is an issue for consistency. So let's go back to sheet 1. Let's keep exploring this further. So we have discarded that. Now let's look at past 3 years bike related purchase. Let's look for any blank values here. There's a blank value, plain integer. We're looking for date of birth, any null values in date of birth. There's no null values. We can keep going forward. Journal manager, job title. So we've got null values in job title, so we can remove that. So we've removed the null values from job title. Let's look at the job industry. There are NA, so we can remove that as well. So again, so there are null values here as well. Okay, now when we're looking at weld segment, so we've got 3 different weld segment. That is completely fine. Deceased indicators, so no, that's fine. Own cars, yes, no, this looks fine as well. Tenure looks fine as well to me. And with values, I'm not sure what these values actually correspond to, but it should be something related to data. We still don't have a data dictionary for this, but it's okay. Okay, now let's look at customer demographic as well. Obviously your customer ID is your primary key. We're not going to touch that. First name, let's see if there are any null values in this data set for the first name. So guys, when you're working with such data sets, the main data quality issues that you may encounter would be null values. There would be inconsistency, as you saw in gender. So there would be inconsistent rows as well. Apart from that, you would see the date and time format. So I think these are the three common data quality issues that you would find in almost every single data set. So make sure that when you see any data set, you try to rectify those issues. So with first name is not an issue. Again, with the last name, we know that there are some blank values. I can see it, so we're just going to remove blanks. And again, this. All right, let's keep working on this demographics. Again, with gender, there's inconsistency. So there is F. This is spelled wrong. So this is a spelling error. We've got female. We've got M. Again, U we're just going to discard because we don't know what U is. Okay, now what we can do is two things here. Either we can convert F into female, or we can convert female into F. So we can either have this column which has F for female, M for males, or we can actually write out females and males for this specific column. So what I think I'm going to do is basically I'm going to convert all the females into F, and then I'm going to convert all the males into M, and I'm going to replace the spelling error. So that is fine. So we're going to rectify this now. So what I want to do is let's do this. I want to replace all the females to F. Now what I need to do is replace all the males to M. So now I have F for female, M for male. Makes my life so much more easier. So once we've dealt with this issue, again with gender, there's inconsistencies. So all right, let's keep going. Past 3 years, I don't see any issues here. Date of birth looks okay to me. There are some null values here, I feel. Yep. So again, we're going to remove null values from job title, and even this has NA, so we're going to remove that as well. That we can remove as well. With the belt segment, there is 3, and with the disease, so we can remove this from the data set. That's fine. Great. So now we have done this, we've dealt with this particular issue. Now we will also look at our default column. Now for the default column, I have no clue what this is. So I'm probably sure this is to do with the metadata issue. So this is to do with relevancy. So this has no relevancy in the dataset. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove this from the dataset. Sell all together. We look at own cars, no, and tenure. That's fine. Lastly, we're going to be working with the customer address over here. We're going to put a filter. This is a primary key. I'm pretty sure it's going to be unique. So once we have done this, we have our data quality issues ready. So now what we're going to do is basically write out an email which actually talks about this data quality issues and how we can actually mitigate this particular data quality issues in the data set. So basically what I've done is basically I've already made out a template which talks about the different data quality issues within the dataset, and what I'm going to do is basically I'm just going to upload them. So if you guys want to pause the video and just read this out, you can do that. So what I've done is basically I've already submitted the file, and there's also a model answer which is given. So if you guys want to have a look at the model answer and compare how you have written against what a senior consultant at Kpmg has written, so you can compare that as well and reflect as to how well you have done. So yeah, this was task 1 of the Kpmg virtual internship. I hope the task 1 was quite easy for a lot of you, but for the people who are just entering the field of data analytics, data quality issue is something that every data set would have, and this is something that you would have to do on a daily basis when you're working with data sets, to make sure that you clean the data set as much as possible. So I am going to be making a 3-part series, and I will be doing such walkthroughs kind of thing, or you can say like more like a tutorial video of how we can actually approach the assessments and how we can actually approach this particular internship. So in the next video we'll be talking about data insights. So in the data insights we're targeting high value customers based on customer demographics and attributes. So I hope the first part of the Kpmg virtual internship was something that everybody loved, and I hope this was a value add for everyone. If you guys liked the video, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and also smash the like button as well. The more you guys engage with my videos, the more it helps to push it out. That's how the YouTube algorithm works. And I will see you guys in my next video. Till then, keep learning, keep sharing.